It is time for the Drew Yari Show. Drew Yari.
What's going on, guys? It's Wednesday, and you already know who I am. I'm Yari. Welcome back. It's Wednesday night, Yari. And joining me is my podcasting partner in crime.
Justin from Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com, and also multi-streaming on YouTube as well. So, youtube.com. So I don't think I have a URL yet, but just look up Spinebusters Wrestling or something like that. Maybe it'll come up. But for the ones who are watching in the Discord here, I'll probably post a link a little bit later in the stream if you want to come look at a live perspective from my side with webcam and all that stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you as well. And again, thank you for live streaming this show. Hopefully we get more eyes and ears. You know, I guess more so, ears, to the podcast. And maybe some eyes since you're live streaming. And to anyone that's listening, watching on YouTube, hello. Welcome to the show. How are you? How has your week been? The last time we had a show was on Saturday.
Yeah, it's been good, man. How was your days off, actually?
It was pretty good. It went by really quick, though, which I'm kind of bummed out.
That's like, always do, right?
Yeah, I'm preparing to do 2 weeks, to have a 2-week vacation in June. That's a long ways away, but I'm itching for it to happen. I'm itching for it.
Right.
Yeah, my days off didn't really do much. It started off on Wednesday, and of course we did the show. Thursday, went to the movies and saw the new Ant-Man movie, which I didn't hate. Everyone's been hating on it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was it's what the kids call mid. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Friday, what did I do Friday? I think I just watched SmackDown. Didn't really do anything interesting. And then, Saturday, of course, we watched Elimination Chamber and also reviewed the show along with RJ, and that show's already out, by the way. And I'm sorry to everybody that I took too long to upload it. I was a little lazy. I didn't upload it in time, but it's already up there if you guys haven't listened to it yet. And then Sunday, what did I do Sunday? Yeah, again, didn't really do too much. I just chilled at home, played video games, watched wrestling, watched a few movies. Been watching a lot of the Rocky movies. I love the Rocky movies. They're one of my favorite franchises, and including the Creed movies, because we're going to see the new Creed movie that's coming out next week.
Right.
And Santikos, which is a San Antonio-based movie theater company, they are doing a special preview for Creed 3 on Monday.
Okay.
And we got tickets to it, IMAX.
Nice, okay.
So we're going to see the movie 4 days, or I guess technically 3 days before it comes out, because, they always put the movie out on Thursday.
Right, yeah, right.
But, we're looking forward to that. What do you think about the Creed movies?
They're fine. Obviously I like the Rocky series more, obviously, but they're fine. Right. It's a successor to the Rocky movies, but it's within that same universe. So I'm okay with it because it's a different story. It's not like something typical. Rocky's grandchild is now boxing, and instead of being called Creed, it's called Balboa. So I just hope that they just don't keep it going, because we had 6 Rocky movies, right? Now this is the 3rd Creed movie. I kind of hope that it kind of dies down after this. The worst thing that they can do is do a fucking remake of the first Rocky and do all the Rockies again. That would be terrible. I don't want to see that.
No, don't do that, please.
yeah, but so they've been fine. I'll put it to you this way: I'm less offended by these movies than by some other movies that we've seen over the years. So,
right. Which one is your favorite of all the Rocky movies?
4.
4?
Hell yes.
I
Four.
fucking love 4.
Yeah, fuck yes. 4.
Yeah.
Like it's so ridiculous. It's like so over the top, but it's great. Like, you know what I mean? All the montages. 4, then I would say followed by 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like obviously Mr. T and Hogan, you know, that helps a lot, but yeah, man, 4. I can watch 4 like any day of the fucking week.
Same here. For me, I would say 4. I like 3.
Right.
I actually like 6. I liked Rocky Balboa. That was actually really good.
I like Rocky Balboa over 5. 5 sucks.
5 is my least favorite. I like to pretend that movie didn't happen. So that's bottom of the barrel.
Well, actually, Sylvester Stallone, he said he wished it never happened too. So
yeah, it's a movie that, you know, we negate it. And then, of course, you know, 1 is the classic, 2 is the classic. And the Creed movies, they belong in there too. The first Creed was a surprise because it's just like they're doing a spin-off of Rocky about Apollo Creed's son, and then you watch, you're like, oh, this is really fucking good.
right.
You know, the same director, you know, he directed movies like Fruitvale Station. He made the Black Panther movies, and then he made this, and it was really good. Part two was good. That was with Drago's son, and that one was good, but it wasn't as good as the first one. The third one is supposed to be more of a personal story and not like, you know, oh, he's gonna fight Clubber Lang's son. Like, it's more of he's fighting somebody from his past, which is interesting. So, yeah, again, I'm just hoping it's good. That's really my only thing I hope for when watching any movie, is that it's good. But I forgot what else I was gonna say. Yeah, 4. Yeah, I'm surprised you like 4. A lot of people I hear they'll be like,
4.
a lot of people will be like, oh, I didn't like 4. I'm like, 4 is fucking awesome.
Yeah, like 4 is fantastic. Like, just everything about it. Everything about it is just like what I want a fucking movie like that. You know what I mean? Like I like 1 and like 2, right? But like just during the time period of Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, those are the right movies to make. You know what I mean? Those are the right type of movies that you want to see. So,
and like, you look at 4 was almost, I think, probably the most important part in the series because it broke Rocky. You know, Drago broke Rocky.
Yeah.
You know, he, like, there was a line in Creed 2 where he's telling Creed about the fight, and he's like, you know, he broke things that still haven't been fixed yet, or you know, like some along those lines. So, great movie, love it. I can, if it's on, I'll watch it. I'll go out of my way to watch it. That's how much I love Part 4. So I'm actually you actually kind of made my night saying you like 4. I love 4.
Oh yeah, 4 is fantastic. Love it.
But we gotta talk about something a little serious, guys. I know we were just talking about good things. We're all happy talking about Rocky, but I'm afraid I have some troubling news, ladies and gentlemen. Justin, Vince McMahon is back in creative.
Allegedly
Back in creative.
I don't take any stock in this as of yet.
Right,
So.
neither do I. But it's just, it's still troubling to hear the possibility. So,
yes, absolutely, yes.
Right. So Sean Rossap, Maurice saying I really don't buy it either because, actually, let me just get into the tweet. So, according to a social media post from Sean Rossap, it appears that Vince McMahon is back with WWE Creative. Talking to Twitter, Sapp said that this information was passed on to him from a WWE talent. The report has yet to be confirmed. Sean Rossap, who actually has me blocked, by the way, because he's a little fucking bitch boy. This week, a WWE talent reached out to me and told me they believed Vince McMahon was back in creative. And I couldn't get it confirmed at all, but on today's Fightful Select, the list goes on blah, blah, blah. So, believed. And not so much as I have sources that say this, even though that would still be bullshit. It's that he says he believes, this person who was talking to him believes that Vince McMahon was back in creative. So, oh, cool. So, again, I don't buy it. I'm not going to put too much stock into it. I don't know. Just, again, I know we've already had this conversation. I'm on the ilk of, at this point, why does Vince want to be in creative? Like, I think it's just my opinion, just my beliefs. I honestly think Vince is just back to sell the company. But then again, we both agree that this guy has a massive ego. But it's just, I don't know, it's just, it's kind of like with Trump. It's like, again, we're not going to get political on here, but it's just like, Trump I think is the same age as Vince. And Trump is allegedly wanting to run for president again. It's like, why would you want to be president again? That's just weird. I mean, I got it the first time, but why again? So, I think it's bullshit. I mean, you have people, even when Triple H was running creative, that would say, Vince is still, he still has his opinions. He's still running creative. Ho, 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 ho. Like, anytime one bad thing would happen on the show, you'd be like, see, Vince is still in creative. Ho, 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 ho. It's like, no, you dipshit. Like, Triple H's ideas aren't going to be perfect. I mean, yeah, Triple H, since he took over the reins back in August, like, he, again, hasn't been perfect, no, but it's been...
He has more good TV than he has bad TV.
Right, I mean, it's been smoother. It's been smoother as a wrestling show, and there have been things on it that have made sense, whereas Vince is just, Vince was Vince. So anytime one bad thing would happen, it's like, Triple H, Vince is still there. So it's just like, you're never going to convince people or make people happy. So again, I don't buy stock until this is good.
Real quick, as devil's advocate here,
mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar versus Omos. That's all I gotta say. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. You think Triple H really will want to have? Because we were talking about on Saturday, like, what's it mean for Brock Lesnar? Could he possibly go up against Gunther? Or we were just kind of figure out like what could be a possibility. Omos wasn't on our brain or on our minds whatsoever to have a WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar, which is possibly going down that route at this point for what it sounds like. I hope this is the curveball. I really hope it is, but
it's a curveball.
But for what? To who?
This screams of angle. This screams of an angle. I again, okay, so if anyone watched Raw, MVP came up on the screen and said, hey, Brock Lesnar, I'm going to pump for you. It's Omos, and come to Raw next week and accept his challenge if you dare. Blah blah blah.
Right.
I just think that screams of an angle for Brock to come out or not Brock. Well, Brock is going to come out, but like for Bobby to come out and reform the Hurt Business.
Okay, so let's say that does happen, right? What does that mean for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania then?
It's going to be Brock and Bobby?
Okay, so what does Bray Wyatt... So Bray Wyatt and his challenge to whoever wins that match at Elimination Chamber between Brock and Lashley.
We're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
I mean, you can't. You can't pretend that didn't happen.
Sure you can. WWE's done that before.
Well, this is Triple H's WWE. Well, as of right now, I know we're just talking about Vince McMahon, but like... To me, it's like you can't just mention it on TV and not do something with it, right? I still firmly believe that Triple H is in full control of WWE as far as creative side of things. Now, as of right now, there are some things that I do question. I'm like, that's not really. I don't really see Triple H really doing this type of thing. But and I'm gonna kind of be all over the place with this. First of all, number one. If we start to see things being advertised on Raw or on SmackDown, and it doesn't happen, then that means that Vince McMahon's likely back in charge. Because a lot of times things would, just happen on the fly, last minute changes, last minute, additions to the show or subtractions. Okay, Vince McMahon will be, in my opinion, will be in charge at that point, because that just screams of a chaotic, non-prepared show, right? If for one reason or another that we still get our segments, that was advertised, and for the most part we get them, to me, Triple H is still in charge. And not a lot of people are going to be looking out for that for the most part. But with this here, like, like I can't ignore that if something's said on TV. Like, okay, well, Bray Wyatt said this. I'm anticipating something here. Now, we didn't get anything on Monday. I don't remember. Was Lashley on Raw on Monday? I don't remember seeing them.
I have the results right here. I know Lashley came out. He came out and just mentioned Brock, mentioned Bray. I forgot what he did actually. So
because the reason why I think I had to go to the. I don't know. I think I had to go to the store or something on Monday. I forgot what happened. Oh no, I went to go gas up. There was a match on. I forgot what match it was. I was like, I ain't gonna watch the match. I'm just gonna go gas up real quick. And I think I may have missed that little segment with Bobby Lashley. But regardless, though, like you're gonna have this. You're basically Lashley. I'm sorry. Omos is challenging Brock Lesnar to a match at WrestleMania. Jesus Christ, man! I hope this is just the angle, but just kind of we're at the point now where we can't really just be doing angles anymore, and we need to start developing concrete matches for WrestleMania for night 1 and night 2, right? Mm-hmm. So that way we can kind of determine what the card is going to be. You know what I mean? And for Omos and and Lesnar, they don't need fucking 5 weeks of build. You know what I mean? What can you build to?
Lashley came out and attacked Elias, and he said from here on out he's going to destroy anyone who disrespects him. That's what he did.
No. I gotta see what the hell Bray Wyatt's promo is on Friday. Because if they're gonna backtrack on this, they need to backtrack it like on Friday immediately. But if Bray Wyatt comes out there and he's like, "Oh, he mentions Lashley," well, that's your match. If he mentions Lashley and starts going to a promo on Lashley, that's your match right there, and there's no way around that, right? This is the worst scenario that WWE can put themselves in right now with this here. But back to the point of Vince McMahon. We got off track. Mm-hmm. Back to the point of Vince McMahon. As of right now, there's a little things here and there that kind of worry me about some things that Vince would do, but largely it's still a Triple H ran show. We'll just have to see for the weeks to come and kind of see what happens from there. Now we don't know we don't know if Vince is just there just to be. Let's say if he's on creative, but he's just there as a consultant, right? Just there to not officially pitch ideas or change ideas, just to give opinions. Okay, so be it. Fine, give your opinion on ideas. Doesn't mean we're gonna go with it. You know what I mean? But if he's there back with the pen in his hand, then WWE may be in a little trouble. Well, from a creative standpoint.
The word is that Vince has input, but at the end of the day, it comes down to Triple H's decision. So
if Vince didn't seize control back, because he can anytime if he wants to.
Again, it's one of those things that let's just hope not.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Jesus, no.
But let's go back to what we were just talking about before with the WrestleMania build up. So it's weird because a lot of the other matches have been built up, a lot better. You got. We're kind of like already on the road, with Cody and with Roman, and they haven't touched yet. They haven't even had a promo yet, which I'm assuming is going to be like the week
they haven't had a face off yet. They haven't been on the screen at the same time.
Right.
They have nothing. So
right,
they need to start doing that very quickly.
Well, I was going to say it'll probably be maybe like 3 weeks before Mania, or maybe like
next week,
the second to last week before Mania. I don't know. Maybe next week.
It has to be next week, and I'm going to tell you why.
Right.
Because of the fact that a lot of people are still on board with Sami Zayn still being in the main event. Like, right. We got to get over that. We got to, and I'll be honest, and I'm always am, the promo between Heyman and Cody on Monday, not say it was bad. It wasn't a bad promo. It was a good promo, actually. But it did not advance anything.
Right.
What, with that promo, right, that happened on Monday, we could have lived without it.
I wasn't without that promo. I wasn't feeling it. Like, I didn't.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I was just like, I don't know. I just maybe I was tired. Maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind when it was given the promo.
Right.
But it's like the promo from a few weeks ago I thought was great. With Cody and Heyman. This one was like, okay, you're talking about fucking his wife. It's like, okay, we're trying to get personal. So I don't know. Like, I'll give you an example. So like, Joe Numbers on Soup, he gave a good example of how he needs to see Cody built up, leading into Mania, and he thinks Cody needs to be tough. He needs to be tough guy, badass Cody, and not I'm crying every 5 minutes because I'm talking about my dad, Cody. Which I get, because Cody loves his dad, Cody respects his dad, and this whole storyline is about his dad. The whole point of it is he's saying I need to finish the story, and I get it. But it's just like, we need to see you tough. We need to see you as a badass. Because this Cody Rhodes is not going to beat Roman. And again, yeah, we know it's wrestling. It's results are predetermined, but it's just like believability factor is like, is this guy really going to beat Roman Reigns? Like, Roman Reigns will probably eat you for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, even brunch. So it's just, and then Cody just constantly, complimenting Roman every 5 minutes. Like, okay, we get it, you respect him, but it's just like, we need to see you say something, like Cody say something to Paul, like, I respect the tribal chief, but with all due respect, why isn't he out here facing me? Why is he sending his goon? Is he really the tribal chief that he says he is? Like, do something like say something like that, like question his manhood. He did
kind of question in the promo, though. So in the promo, he did kind of state that, like, next time, don't come next time. If you come next time, make sure you send Roman. In less words, that's pretty much what he said in the promo.
Well, I mean, I need to hear him actually say it. I need to hear him, like, not call Roman a pussy, but just question his manhood, like they're questioning his manhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I want that, and hopefully we're getting it. And this is built up nicely. I mean, they started to set the seeds for the tag title match with Sammy and Owens versus the Usos, where Sammy, called out Kevin Owens and said, hey, thank you for saving me. And, Kevin's like, I didn't do it for you. I did it for your family. I did it for your mom and dad. I did it for your wife, because I didn't want them to see you get treated the same way I got treated. But I'm not doing it for you, and I'm not going to help you. How's about you ask your buddy Jay? And then he just throws the mic in him and leaves. I'm like, oh, okay. So I like that they're not rushing them being friends again, because it wouldn't make sense if it's just like, I'll take you back. It's like, no, it's like, dude, this is going to take some time. Like, I'm not just going to take you back as my friend because you screwed me over and over again, but this time it hurts. Like, it hurts because you chose these guys over me, and I was your family. So that makes sense. So this is going to be a personal feud. And then, again, my whole thing is, with Jay, you have something special with Jay. Like, yeah, I'd mentioned on the show a few weeks ago where, like, Jay, still chooses family over Sammy, but Jay can even, like, still have that in the back of his mind. Like, did Sammy really mean what he said when he said, I acknowledge you? He can even ask Sammy, did you really mean what you said? And Sammy just be like, I meant every word. And that's how you build a new star. Yeah, still have the tag match. I'm not saying interject, Sammy or Jay in the world title match. I'm just saying still have the tag title match, but that's how you build another feud, another star. So that's coming along nicely. And the one
another thing I thought about, I'm sorry to interrupt. Another thing I thought about too is that, like, the Bloodline storyline started with Jey Uso, right? And maybe the Bloodline storyline ends with Jey Uso with him, like, not like there'll still be the tag match and all that stuff, but like maybe there's something there that Jay can. I don't want to say screw Roman out of the title, because that's like, because there's a lot of things that's running through my mind. Like, there's part of me where I'm really was cheering for Cody Rhodes to win the title, right? And I still want him to win the title. But what I think WWE may do is, because Roman's so close to 1,000 days as Universal Champion, what's another 50 days? You know what I mean? What's another 50 days of him being being world champion, and extend the storyline out? And I had this in the back of my head for a while. I don't think I ever mentioned this on stream, but I had this in my head for a while. What if WWE recreates a famous Dusty finish where, like, what they can do, this is the best way they can do it. You can't do a finish of like a count out or a disqualification, anything like that where Cody's hand gets raised, because we already know that he's not going to walk out with the title. So the way you can do it in 2023 is basically have Cody hit the crossroads on Roman. You get a 1, you get a 2, you get a 3. Cody Rhodes wins the championship, right? However, we don't see Roman's foot or arm underneath pass through the bottom rope, which means if it's underneath or if his foot passed through the bottom rope, that still counts as a rope break in wrestling. And we don't see that very often, where it doesn't necessarily have to be on the ropes per se. If their foot's past that bottom rope or arms past that bottom rope, that can count as a rope break. And they can do this big celebration at WrestleMania, even have the fireworks go off, all that stuff, until you see another referee come down to the ring and is like, hey, check the camera, check this, check that, and they restart the match and Roman walks out the champion. And what that can do, that can give sympathy for Cody for being that close to winning. It's a Dusty finish that can happen in 2023. And plus it gives you a little bit more, cause right now, honestly, like with the promo that happened on Monday, I'm not fully invested in Cody winning the title. I want him to win the title, but if I'm being honest with myself, I'm not fully invested as of yet. That may change my mind. They still got 5 weeks left, right? That may change my mind. But if they want to continue the story here and make this go on longer, I would do that finish at WrestleMania, making think that Cody Rhodes won, to only for Roman to walk out the champion. Have him at least have the title for 1,000 days. Then have him take the title off of him at like SummerSlam or something like that. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
That's not a bad idea. Going back to the rope, the feet under the rope, like I thought it was gonna. I don't know. I thought you were kind of going in a way of a, like, you know, Roman's pyro goes off and you have another referee being like, you know, hey, his feet are under the rope. That counts as a rope break, and like Roman's just like, you know, fuck all you, I'm leaving. Then Triple H's music plays, and Triple H can come on.
I don't think Triple H wants to be involved like that.
Triple H can just come out and be like, you know, that's not how we're ending WrestleMania. Restart the damn match.
Right.
You know, do something like that. So where it's just like, you know, still create that drama, still create that, you know, sympathy for Cody, of just like, you know, we're not going out like that. Restart the damn match. You know, not saying Triple H needs to literally come out to the ring. He just comes out at the top of the ramp and be like, you know, restart the damn match. You know what I mean? Like, do something like that. I mean, because
restart the match. So, because you're saying Roman's walking out.
Well, no, like going with your idea. So, like,
okay, I follow you. I got you now.
You know, scenario. You know, Roman pins Cody, but Cody's, you know, feet, or not even like both feet, hit like barely his foot is under the rope, and you can have like Corey or, you know, Michael Cole or, you know, Pat or whatever, just be like, but guys, I think Cody's foot was under the rope, and just going all crazy, and the whole time Paul Heyman and, you know, Roman are just outside celebrating and pyro's going off. But that's when you see a second referee come in and be like, look at the footage. Like, look what happened. And Roman's just like, please, I got better shit to do. And again, that's when Triple H, or I guess just Triple H, just comes out and he's like, you know, that's not how we're ending WrestleMania. Restart the match, and just do that. Like, build sympathy for Cody, like you said, because I get what you mean when you say I'm not fully invested in Cody. I get that, because I see a lot of people saying it, and it's not just you. Like, there are people who honestly think that they might even prolong Roman's title reign past Mania, because I think they want to hit that 1,000 day mark. So
Yeah, as I mentioned, yeah.
but then that also kind of creates a MacGuffin of, you brought back Cody to be this big star. He won the Rumble, and now he's in the main event of Mania. So if you have him lose in the main event at Mania, doesn't that kind of kill his momentum?
No, I don't think it would if the story's told right. That's why I'm saying do that dusty finish, because that's going to build sympathy for Cody. That's going to build sympathy for Cody instead of killing his momentum directly. If he gets beat clean in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, and nothing else behind it, okay, yes, but you need to do something so that way he can still have a little heat on himself. And the best way to do that is, because think about it this way, right? What's going to be the reaction of online, the crowd, everybody, if Cody hits the Crossroads 2, 3, however many Crossroads they hits that last Crossroads, and all you see is, and you don't even see on the initial pin attempt, you don't even see the camera where you see Roman's feet under the ropes. You don't see it. Right. All you see is the 1, 2, 3. All you're focusing on is the 1, 2, 3, and everyone at home at least thinking, "Holy shit, Cody just won!" Right? Just won the title, right? Only to see that this story is not over as of yet. This story is still continuing. And the only way that Cody's going to be able to beat Roman is in some other type of match, wherever they do, if they do like a steel cage or Hell in a Cell, wherever they want to do, right? To where that, there's no rope break, there's no interference from the bloodline, nothing like that. Something like that, like at a because I really think, like, to me, at this point in time, it's like, Roman's had the title for almost, 1,000 days. You know what I mean? And at WrestleMania, it's going to be about 940, 950 days. And you know how WWE is. They like their milestones. They like to tout on, it's the first time ever. This hasn't happened since. What a way for Roman to lose his title once he gets past 1,000 days. And again, I think the only appropriate event at that point for him to lose the title is at SummerSlam, because I think SummerSlam is gonna be in a stadium, but it's gonna be in Detroit. It's gonna be in Ford Field, where WrestleMania 23. So basically, you're gonna have the WrestleMania 23 stadium, Ford Field in Detroit, for SummerSlam. Like, you're probably gonna fit 50, 60, 70,000 in there. You know what I mean, in that stadium, and that's gonna be kind of like a newish, not newish, but like in a way, a summer WrestleMania. That's what SummerSlam is, pretty much, a summer WrestleMania, but with the crowd and possibly the energy and all that. But now, circling back to Vince McMahon, if Vince McMahon still, if he comes back and if he's indeed in charge, and we don't know, right? But let's just say that he's back in charge of creative. I don't give a shit. I will just pull the trigger on Cody winning at Mania, no matter what the story is at that point, because I don't trust Vince McMahon, if he's back in full creative, right, to let this story play all the way out through SummerSlam. He's gonna change his mind. He's gonna get bored. He's gonna want to put, Lashley against Roman, or Lesnar against Roman again, or something like that. So there's a lot of scenarios with that, but as of right now, I think that's a good way for Cody to win the title, is at SummerSlam.
So Roman so far has been champion for 907 days. Yep. So 53 days from now, what date would that be? I know that'd be in like April, right?
53 days from now. I mean, we're looking at a month and a half. So SummerSlam is in 5 weeks. SummerSlam, sorry. WrestleMania is in 5 weeks.
Hold on. 53 days from today. That'd be Sunday, April 16th. So, what's another pay-per-view that's coming up after Mania? The next pay-per-view after Mania will be Backlash, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got Backlash, and Backlash, and you got another pay-per-view, then possibly Money in the Bank. Then SummerSlam will be too long after that too. So,
I don't know. It's one of those things of like, I don't even know what's going to happen at Mania now. Like, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the matchups are going to be, but
we still got 5 weeks to go, so they can, like I said earlier, they can possibly tell the story to where that we care and we're fully invested in Cody with 5 weeks left to go. But if they don't give us like what we want, not what we want, doesn't matter what we want, but if they don't do the story justice, then I think it's better for Cody to lose in a screwy fashion, right? In a Dusty-like finish, right? You know what I mean? There ain't gonna be no pyrotechnics or anything like that. The way you get around it is fucking just Cody just game, the match restarts, Roman just beats Cody, and we go off the air, right? No one's celebrating. But, and that'll just give us more, a few more months of this storyline. And maybe on top of that as well, maybe that'll get us a Jey Uso and Roman Reigns match. Cause, maybe that can stretch out a little bit more with the bloodline and this feud itself. So I'm not just thinking about Cody. I'm thinking about everything that can happen, right? Let's say Usos lose the titles at WrestleMania, right? Jay gets kind of he gets a little pissed off about it, right? And then he eventually turns his back on the bloodline, and then it's, the Sami Zayn story all over again, right? This time it's Jey Uso. Jey Uso, he gets a title shot. He almost beats Roman, right? That, that could go on for a couple months until we circle back to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. At SummerSlam. So, that I'm really invested on board with that, and that's only if they don't get this story together with Cody in a convincing fashion in the next 5 weeks. If it's a convincing fashion in the next 5 weeks, great. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Cody winning, right? But something in the back of my head tells me, like, WWE, they love their milestones. They love to tout that. What is 50 more days after WrestleMania to get to 1,000? And he's gonna be past 1,000 days, way past 1,000 days once we get to SummerSlam. So,
Goof is saying that Shaq, Cody winning at SummerSlam will be the way to go if he doesn't win at Mania. I mean that makes sense. I mean that makes sense because let's say Cody doesn't win at Mania, there's more matchups for him to kind of lead back to Roman, and that's where I mentioned about Jay being that next big star. You can maybe do a program. I'm not saying do the MJF, you have to go through these trials to face me thing. I'm just saying, like, that's where you can insert Jay as, your next big, heelish baby face for the next few months to feud with Cody. You can do something with Solo, maybe. I don't know. But, I guess just keep Cody busy until Mania, because supposedly Roman's not advertised for Money in the Bank in July, which is weird because it's going to be in the O2 Arena in London. I imagine that's going to be a big show.
If it's a overseas show, like Roman needs to be there in order to sell that building out. I mean, it's probably going to be sold out regardless, but to make it better.
Right. So he's going to be there. Whoever he faces, I don't know, but these next 4 or 5 weeks leading up to Mania, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, the matches that I already announced have been the matches that I think have been built better. Now it just seems like they're just like, all right, we need things for other people to do. We need something for Lashley to do. We need something for Brock to do, which is kind of fucked up to think about because it's Brock. Like, Brock is, one of the guys that makes you money. So it's just like, well, this circles back to Brock and Omos, where it's just like, if they do Brock versus Omos, okay, on paper it's interesting because you have a giant versus a beast, but it doesn't make any sense because Omos hasn't really done anything. So why would you just automatically throw Omos at Brock? I mean, it's just going to be a test of strength. It's just the whole point of the match is just going to be Brock just doing suplexes to Omos, and we're supposed to pretend to be
that's going to be impressive, but again, to your point, this match doesn't make any sense. Again, and I mentioned this with the with Bray Wyatt just coming out on last Friday, just just saying like just randomly, and this kind of makes me think that Vince is actually there because of shit like this. Like I don't really see Triple H do stuff like this much, where just randomly, the winner between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar run. Like what? Like
that just doesn't make sense. Like
that's way out of left field. You know what I mean? This is way out of left field. I didn't expect Omos to. So I don't know. We'll just have to kind of wait and see on how this all develops. But I'm very skeptical of what I'm seeing on some of these decisions.
From a character perspective, again, yeah, Bray's supposed to be crazy. He's loony. He's the crazy scary man. It's like, but it's just like, why would you want to face the winner of Brock and Lashley unless it's for a title? Like I don't know. Again. I hope we don't get that. I hope it's a swerve, like Eddie said. I hope it's a swerve on Monday, and the Hurt Business come back and beat down Brock. And Lashley says, you and me at Mania in a fight pit, kind of like how you said a few weeks ago. Like we get Lesnar and Brock in a fight pit, since they're both UFC guys. So that'd be the best way to go. So I don't know. I don't want to see Lesnar versus Omos. I don't want to see Lashley versus Bray. If either of those guys are going to fight Bray, hopefully it's not at Mania. Hopefully it's on a later date. But either way, it's still going to be a shit match. But I guess you need something for Bray to do because he unfortunately, Bray still sells merch. People like Bray. So, I don't know, whatever. Since we're briefly talking about Raw, we might as well just do a brief review of the show. So, like I mentioned,
sorry to interrupt, but Tony Khan. You want to know what Tony Khan's announcement is?
Well, I have it on mute. I just see Adam Cole. What happened?
Well, apparently they're going to be doing after Dynamite. I think they said in a couple of weeks. I didn't catch the date, but he stated that. Well, he's saying something else too. But he stated there's going to be like an all AEW All Access show.
Okay.
And let me see. And Al Cole announces his in-ring return. So I'm happy for him, man, because he's been out for a long time, and he hasn't wrestled in almost a year. So happy for him that he's healthy and that he's able to get back in the ring. But the announcement of the All Access show though is not huge per se. You could have just did that on Twitter, or could have made a quick little video on Twitter itself. So, yeah, I don't really think that's a huge announcement. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I'm missing from it, but it doesn't look too huge to me.
So basically, they want another show that draws 100,000 viewers.
I mean, it's not a wrestling show. It's not like it'd be like an official or in-ring wrestling show for. At least from what I understand, I guess it's gonna be like a backstage. What I don't know. I'll just have to get more details about it because that's not I don't know if that's the great thing. The best thing to do right now is another show.
I'm sorry, not 100,000, 50,000. Yeah. Raw, like I mentioned, Sami Zayn opened the show talking to Kevin Owens. Then Baron Corbin came on and attacked him because of how he stole his moment from the week prior. Sami Zayn beat him. Austin Theory was interviewed backstage. John Cena is returning to Raw on what they say the 12th.
Wherever the Boston show is, yeah, or the hold on, I think it was the 6th. I may be wrong.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's the 6th. If anyone can confirm that in the chat, that'd be nice. So that sets up their Mania match, which Theory talked about in the interview, where he said, I'm still the U.S. champion, but all anyone can talk about is John Cena coming back. Mustafa Ali defeated Dolph Ziggler by pinfall. Yay. We talked about Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman. We talked about MVP and Omos issuing challenge to Lesnar. Seth Rollins defeated The Miz via referee stoppage by curb stomping him twice. And he also talked about punishing Logan Paul. So that sets up their Mania match. Becky and Lita challenge Damage Control to a tag team title match next week, which supposedly Trish was supposed to come out, but that got canceled. So I'm assuming that sets up a 6-woman tag at Mania. If I had to guess.
I mean, they need to do something because, yeah, they need to do something for sure.
I mean, that's a good use of Lita and Trish. So why not have a 6 women at Mania? Bronson Reed defeated Chad Gable by pinfall. Decent match. Again, it's just one of those things with like Bronson Reed is so good, but he gets no reaction.
Yeah, and also Otis, the storyline with Otis and possibly joining the Maximum Male Models is still there, so yep.
And then Bobby Lashley attack Elias. We talked about it. The main event was Edge versus Austin Theory for the U.S. Championship. Before the match, he did an interview with who is it? Byron Saxton, where he talked about retiring. Where he said, I haven't held a title in over 10 years, and this might be my last, pretty much saying this might be my last shot. And, of course, he was in his hometown of Canada. And I think we talked about this on a show, you and me, where Edge alluded to that he might retire this year. So
is that when his contract's up?
I believe his contract
up this year.
I believe his contract is up this year. I'm not 100% sure, but what show was it? I think it was either SummerSlam of last year, or it was a Raw last year where he alluded to that, next year might be his last year, right, for good this time. So, again, good for Edge. Edge came back from an injury that nobody thought he would come back from, and he made the most of it. He had that shocking return of the Rumble, which I just remember watching that and hearing his music and going nuts because I like Edge. I'm an Edge fan. Always have been. I like how he's been used. I mean, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a huge fan. I also don't hate the fact that he has like really long matches. I mean, it's good that Edge can still go, but it's like Edge. You don't really need to go that long. Like you're Edge. You can just do you can tell a story in like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. You don't need to do 30-minute classics, but. Edge can still go. I love Edge. But him and Theory's match, again, good match. Not a great match, but it was a good match. Balor getting involved and costing him the match. Afterwards, he did multiple coup de grace, which sets up a possible rubber match for him and Balor at Mania, which I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I saw it coming, and whether it's a Hell in a Cell match or a street fight or whatever you want to call it, this kind of seems like the idea of Edge, saying, I have to kill what I created, a year ago at Mania.
It still doesn't make it right, though, in my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, I get it, screw him out of the title, but if Finn Balor, like, what they could have done, this is what they could have done.
Right.
They could have done something a little bit more diabolical, and then warrants another match, a Hell in a Cell match at Mania. Just have Balor go to Edge's home and terrorize Beth and the kids. And Edge sees it on the Titantron, and he gets distracted, and Austin Theory hits him with the ATL. You know what I mean? Like just a irregular interference, like that happens every day in wrestling. But I don't know. I think they could have done something a little bit more diabolical for this to be a Hell in a Cell match. But that's what we're getting. That's what we're most likely getting. So it's just, I guess, it's gonna be a good match. But again, I think they could have been a little bit more creative behind it.
Right. So that was Raw. Raw was okay. I have the list for the producers of the Elimination Chamber matches. Do you want me to tell you what those are?
Say again, I'm sorry.
I have a list of the producers for each match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go. For the women's elimination chamber match, it was produced by Tyson Kidd, Petey Williams, and Molly Holly. For Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, it was Jason Jordan. Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor versus Edge and Beth Phoenix was produced by Adam Pearce. The men's elimination chamber match was produced by Jamie Noble and Chris Park. That's Abyss, right?
You said Justin Park?
Chris Park.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Abyss.
Okay. And the main event, Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns, was produced by Michael Hayes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think Michael Hayes has been a big part of this Bloodline storyline, which is, say what you want about Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes has a good idea every now and then. Let's see, what else can we talk about? We have a few more news tidbits. Let's talk about Ariel Helwani. So I think you posted this in the chat, where you posted the tweet from Tony Khan about Ariel Helwani appearing on Elimination Chamber, where he just said that he's a what is it? He's a fraud. I forgot what was the exact tweet.
I can get it. Hold on. Should have had this. I should have had this prepared. I should have known you were going to ask about this. Let me get it real quick. He said, what? It says, you're a fraud at Ariel Helwani. You're legitimate as a reporter as Tony Schiavone. Hashtag AEW Rampage.
Oh, man. And then I believe Ariel reply where he's like,
Yeah, so then Ariel replies to, thanks for watching, old friend. Can't wait for our next chat. Also, don't listen to the snowman, Shivani. You're a legend in my books. Then Tony Khan says, good luck with the unbiased journalism. And I think that's where it ended there. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna ask you first. How did you read that exactly?
As Tony Khan's tweet?
Yeah.
I read that. I don't know why he mentioned Shivani there. That was kind of weird because of the fact that, like, him and Shivani are friends. You know what I mean? So I don't I don't know about that. However, him saying you're a fraud, I mean, I kind of get it in a way, because like if you and do you see any of Ariel Helwani's interviews, like, with wrestlers?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, his questions, like, with WWE wrestlers, seems a little bit more tame, softball type questions for the most part. And with other wrestlers, not necessarily just AEW, but just wrestlers outside of. So, like you had one with MJF, obviously you had one with Tony Khan, and it seems like he's asking a little bit more hardball questions. And I mentioned in the past that Ariel Helwani's manager used to be Nick Khan.
Right.
So I'm not too sure if, like, Nick, I don't know, I'm not too sure if he's, like, trying to not ask as many hard questions to the WWE stars because he knows that Nick Khan is his buddy. I'm not sure. There is a little bit of a biasy there, though, a little bit with Ariel. I mean, it's not like totally like egregious bad, but there's a little bit of being biased, right? Which, I mean, is what it is. I mean, people are gonna have their biases. I mean, and you can't really change people's opinions if they're biased about something. You can't really change it. You can give them different points of views, but doesn't mean it's gonna change. I mean, in this case with Ariel Helwani, it's like you can talk to him and be like, hey, should you really be, should you be a little bit more fair with your questions and, like, whatever the case may be. But with that, on Tony Khan's side, he didn't really need to engage himself with that because he is a owner of a wrestling company. I understand where he's coming from. But maybe you should filter that out to other people within your company to tweet at, like maybe like Tony Schiavone himself, or maybe other people in the company to kind of put fillers out there for your own tweets. But yeah, man. I mean, to me, at the end of the day, both were in the wrong. I think Tony Khan was in the wrong, but I think Ariel is a little bit more in the wrong in this situation, just because, again, yes, you can ask your questions, but like just be fair across the board, right? Because like the questions like he asked like to WWE wrestlers is just like the standard generic questions, nothing really outside the box. Except for Cody, I think Cody he has a little bit more free reign on Cody. You know what I mean? But like with the AEW wrestlers, it's just him just doing his regular interviews because like even like in his UFC interviews or whatnot, like when he interviews like some of the MMA fighters, he asks his questions like if he's talking to Tony Khan or if he's talking to MJF or someone else on the AEW roster. The way he talks to the WWE roster, it seems like he's been briefed on the types of questions he should ask first before the interview. So,
well, I mean,
I don't know. What's up?
Well, I mean, it's not that shocking because, like, for example, a friend of the show, Andrew Carlick, he was going to have Batista on his show, and then he said somebody from WWE had emailed him a list of approved questions to ask Batista. So right. I mean, it makes sense. I get where you're coming from. WWE, they're gonna have their own people interview their own people, and I get that because they don't want to answer the softball, the hardball questions. They'd rather just have a fun, quote unquote, interview, and I get it. But it's just like, again, maybe I'm sounding like an AEW hater. I'm really not, but it's just with Tony Khan. I think Tony Khan is just so used to everyone telling him how amazing his ideas are and how he's the savior of wrestling. Whereas when Ariel Helwani asked him just legit questions, Tony, it almost seemed like Tony was malfunctioning. Like another example I'll give you is like when CM Punk. Sorry, I'm just saying hi to my fiance. Yeah, close the door, please. Love you. Sorry about that. When CM Punk, when he first announced that he was going to be, fighting UFC, it was like 2 years before he had his first fight, and like every outlet he went to, whether it was Fox or like ESPN, they were telling him how amazing he was and that he was the next big thing in UFC, and he's amazing, he's awesome, he's amazing, he's awesome. And then he has that interview with who is it? Peter Rosenberg. From the Canadian guy. What the fuck is it called? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, Ariel Helwani is the Canadian guy.
Not Ariel Helwani. It was Sam
Roberts.
Not Sam. It's that.
He's not Canadian either.
It's
Peter Rosenberg. He's not Canadian.
His last name is Rosenberg, but it's not Peter. I'm trying to think of who it is. It's
I don't know.
It's Hold on. Now this is driving me nuts. It's some Canadian like talk show that like a lot of the WWE wrestlers used to be on.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, okay, you're talking about like in the mid 2000s.
Right, like
wait. I think the show it was called Off the Record. Hold on.
Yes, there you go. Off the Record.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Off the Record. Let me see. Hold on. I can find it. Michael Landsberg.
I was off. Anyways, so yeah, Michael Landsberg kind of has that reputation of asking kind of the hardball questions. He's like someone called him like a Geraldo Rivera type of interviewer, and he had CM Punk on, and he just asked a legit question, which is, when is your first fight? Like how do you know you're gonna succeed in UFC when you've never had formal training? You haven't even had a match. And, CM Punk, again, he did kind of like what Tony Khan did. It seemed like he was short-circuiting because everyone was used to him saying, everyone was used to telling him, you're amazing, you're awesome, I love you, you're God, you're Jesus. You're like if God and Jesus had a baby, you'd be super Jesus. Like it was, he was so used to that praise when he hadn't done anything. It's like, yeah, this Landsberg guy just asked a fair question, like, when is your first fight? And then CM Punk just kind of, checked out of the interview because this guy wasn't asking him the questions that he'd prefer. So it's just like Ariel Helwani, again, I'm not really for or against him. It's more just like he asked Tony Khan legit questions, and Tony, again, was just used to everyone telling him how amazing he was. And yeah, he does, ask more softballish questions to WWE guys, but it's just like, so what? You look at the Dave Meltzers and the Sean Alvarez's.
I think that's Tony Khan's, I guess, objection there, where he's like, well, just be fair. I guess, like, be fair across the board. Like, so I guess the fake journalism or fraud or whatever. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too far, but like, I see it from both sides. From Ariel's side, I see it from Tony's side. But from Tony's side point of view, it's like, well, how come you're not asking these same hard-hitting questions to the WWE guys, despite what they're telling you, type of thing. And I get there's contracts and there's things of that nature too as well, but to stay legitimate, like, or to be legitimate as a interviewer, reporter, wherever you want to be, you should stick to your guns. But I don't know. I just think this whole story is silly to me, to begin with. So I didn't really pay much in stock with it, because, like, to me, it doesn't really do anything as far as what I'm watching. And, like, if anything, I'm getting annoyed on WWE's end, to be honest, because they keep mentioning it. Okay, they did it at Elimination Chamber. First time, funny, right? Then they mention on Raw, like, twice. Like, second time was like, okay, all right, cool, all right. They mentioned it again. Third time was like, okay. Then they mentioned it again last night on NXT in some fashion. It's like, okay, really? Like, all right, you really guys gonna drag this out? And we know how petty WWE is and all that. I totally get it. And, it's always been their forte ever since I've been living, right? But at the same time as well, it's like, okay, this is not like, a huge story. You know what I mean? This is something that we're not gonna. Well, we are gonna remember at the end of the year. If I do that end of the year list again, I'll mention it. But I'll mention it, and it will be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that Tony Khan Ariel Helwani feud for 3 days on Twitter. So yeah, but to me, it's like I don't really pay much stock in this, because it doesn't really do anything for me as far as the product. The show doesn't really affect the way I watch the product. Or the show for both shows for AEW and WWE.
I mean, it's just, at this point, it's kind of a dead issue. It happened, and now it's over. I mean, because WWE's winning at this point. AEW. I'm gonna be interested to see what their ratings are for this episode. I'll be honest, I can't imagine they're gonna be very good. I mean,
you're talking about for Dynamite?
Yeah, for tonight. Raw.
Yeah, they didn't like, the show ended tonight. I mean, again, I didn't see the second hour. I mean, because we've been podcasting here, but from what I've seen, really the only stories that are going on that are worth anything right now is MJF, Bryan Danielson, and Moxley and Hangman. Those are really the only two stories that really matter right now, and the investment's not really there. You even got, like, some of the AEW elitists out there who are pro AEW, right? You know what I mean? Like, the names out there, but even they're like, hey, like, what's, like, the wrestling's been great, fantastic, but what about these stories? Everyone's been talking about how lackluster the stories have been.
Is there pay-per-view next Saturday?
Revolution?
Yeah.
I don't think it's next week. Hold on, is it next Saturday? Is it already? Hold on.
Yeah, March 5th.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah. So they're go home shows next week.
Speaking of ratings, so Raw this past Monday drew a 2.0 million, which is up from last week. So good for them. Let's see what SmackDown did. So Fightful has a list of the ratings for each wrestling show since 2019, which is helpful. Let's see SmackDown. Let's see what they drew. SmackDown from last Friday, which was the night before Elimination Chamber, drew a 2.3, which is a little bit down from the week before, but still pretty impressive. I guess since we're on the topic, we'll just look at the other shows. I think NXT. Yeah, it was last night. I don't know if the ratings came out yet. No, they haven't.
It would have came out. Actually, let me go to Brian Alvarez because he usually tweets those pretty well. Let's see. Brian Alvarez. I don't know if he was still doing NXT or not, but no, he did Raw. I don't see anything for NXT. So
I only saw clips of NXT. I of course saw the Gigi and JC fight where JC, or not JC, but Gigi, like I think she kind of like scuffed up her hand by throwing some pretty stiff shots at JC. So that's gonna be interesting. Braun defeated Jinder. Yay. Let's see. NXT from February 14th, Valentine's Day, drew a 640,000 viewership, which is up from the week before.
That wasn't last night.
No, these are the ratings that are. They haven't updated the ratings.
Oh yeah, because I was like, I don't think NXT came out yet. Okay.
Let's see. AEW from February 15th drew an 824, which is really down. Jesus Christ. Rampage. I think that's the story of the night. Rampage from February 17th on Friday drew a 287. Oh boy. And then for just
different time slots, so I mean, but again, like they were like going down regardless though, but like I think that's a little bit of a fabricated number. If they were in their original time slot, they probably would have drew maybe like 380 or 375, something like that.
And just for shits and gigs, let's look up Impact's ratings.
Ugh, what the hell?
Impact from February 16th drew a 92,000.
They've been drawing more. They've been in between of like 100,000 to like, I don't think they went below like 70,000 ever, because they've been on Access. So let's look
at that. The last time they were below 70,000 was November 3rd, and they drew 56,000.
Jesus, on November 3rd. Jesus, what was on November 3rd?
Hold on.
Was that midterms?
Now I'm interested. Now I want to look this up. So the November 3rd episode.
Something really had to affect that number. Thursday Night Football. That was a Thursday Night Football game for sure. Who played on Thursday Night Football? November 3rd.
Let me look that up. See. So the Impact Wrestling on Access from November 3rd. The matches were Yuya Uemura versus PJ Black in an X Division title tournament first round. PJ Black won. And I'm having all these fucking things pop up. Let's see. Kenny King versus Mike Bailey in an X Division title tournament. Mike Bailey won.
B-ball.
Ow, fuck. Let's see. Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match, Jessica with a K, with Death Dolls, Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary versus Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz. Evans and Steelz won. Are there other matches? Eric Young versus Sami Callihan. Callihan won by disqualification. Austin Ace Austin with Chris Bay defeated Moose.
Moose.
Impact World Champion Josh Alexander and Frankie Kazarian defeated Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher.
They're going to be on Rampage this Friday.
Good for them. And yeah, that was the November 3rd episode of Impact. That's the last time you're ever going to hear Impact on the show. Let's see. There's a few other news tidbits. Speaking of AEW and WWE, Cody Rhodes says there is no war between WWE and AEW. He said, I almost look at it like different forms of education, whereas WWE is the biggest, the best. Rhodes said on Cheap Heat. He noted that NFL fans saw Patrick Mahomes holding his WWE championship after his Super Bowl win, but the American Nightmare knows that competition is good for everyone, something he had experienced firsthand. I hope you do not have to argue that with many people. It's absolutely good for the industry to have these options, because sometimes critics of what we do think, oh, this is who the person is, oh, he's Stardust, he'll always be Stardust, oh, he's dashing Cody Rhodes, he'll always be this. Gosh, no. Really, you don't have to finish where you start. It's all about learning. And he says, I definitely hit some bumps and tripped quite a bit in my final year away, but coming back without all of it, that I wouldn't have been, I feel like, as complete as I am now. But it's absolutely nice to have those options. And he said, again, there's no war, and especially amongst locker rooms. If you're putting your boots on, girls and boys, we're bonded, we're brothers, and we're sisters. There's no war.
In that sense, I kind of agree with them. You know what I mean? The war's probably not... The war's not between the talent, the war's between the executives.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the wars between, like, Triple H and Tony Khan and Vince McMahon and, you know, anybody that's on the AEW side over there. But the war's not between the talent at all. So I agree with them there.
Yeah, because you look at the talent in AEW praising WWE. Like, you'll see Kenny being like, oh, I think Roman Reigns is great. Or you'll see FTR say the same thing, you know, in WWE, like, oh, I think the Usos are great. Or same thing with someone in WWE. They'd be like, oh, I think so-and-so is great. Oh, I think, especially with the women.
Yeah,
like,
and you know they watch each other's shows because, like, if you're on Twitter, like, during the pay-per-view events, like Jade Cargill, like, you know, she basically stated that, that was wrestling, or that was amazing, like, for, like, the Roman Reigns Sami Zayn match, or even like she even like mentioned something during the women's elimination chamber as well. And you know, even like in WWE too, like, you know, people in WWE watch AEW, so you know, everyone like in a way, everyone supports each other in some weird outlandish way without saying it, you know what I mean? But I mean, I wish wrestling was more like that, but you know, but
yeah,
it is what we can't always be sunshines and rainbows all the time, you know.
I mean, you kind of want that rivalry, but like you said, more respectfully, not like, you know, oh, fuck Roman Reigns, I hate him. It's like, yeah, Roman Reigns is good, but I'm a little bit better. Like, have that rivalry that keeps you, but it's just like, you know, both companies need to kind of be on equal footing, and at the moment, WWE, I think, you know, well, not I think, but even Mr. Meltzer, you know, agreed, WWE has all the momentum going on right now. So, congratulations to Sonya Deville, who, her and her girlfriend, Tony Cassano, were engaged. Deville actually proposed to her girlfriend, Tony, on February 15th in New Jersey. Their special night at a wine cellar cave turned out to be even more eventful, as Cassano had a ring of her own and had been waiting for Deville to pop the question first. So, congratulations. And Cassano, let's see, she said she spent months designing the ring and made sure that Cassano's daughters were involved in the proposal, but also surprised at the same time. So, Sonya's going to be a stepmom. So good for her.
Yeah, happy for her. Another engagement. So yeah, happy for them. Quick update on this AEW All Access. It's not really. I think both sides want this, but it seems like this is more of a call of TBS on what TBS wanted. So TBS wanted another show for AEW to be on their networks. So there you go. There you go. Because they figured that, and this is just my assumption. I may be wrong about this, but they figured that like whatever hour is after AEW seems like it just like such a dip in ratings. They figured that another hour AEW would, no matter what the rating would be, will probably be more than whatever is going to be on that channel at that time anyway. So, which I understand, like, because like let's say AEW they average, we'll just say nicely 900,000, right? Just 800,000, 900,000, whatever the number is, right? And it dips down to half of that, 400,000. Well, if they do this, new hour show and they get 500,000 or 550,000, you know what I mean? That, and still keeping eyes on the TBS Turner Network product. I mean, I guess that could be a win for them. So I kind of see what TBS is asking for here with this.
Since we're still on the subject of AEW, Kenny Omega was on the Swerve City podcast and he stated, getting older has made him soft. He said, there are thoughts that don't even cross my mind, and because they don't cross my mind, I'm able to commit wholeheartedly into something so crazy that I could even end my own career. Whereas now that I'm too old and I've seen so many terrible things in my life, the hamster wheel is always turning, and it's like, I get gun-shy sometimes. Now, sometimes it's like, oh boy, I'm in the thick of it. I'm actually in this match. And I know I've got to do this thing, or I might do this thing, and I'm getting scared, and I need to get that out of me. That's sort of like one of the cruxes of getting older. You know what I mean? I'm getting older, wiser, but at the same time, you kind of get a little soft. You got to get a little bit soft. I mean, again, we talked about this, rumors that, WWE is looking at Kenny Omega. Apparently Kenny is rumored to not be happy about his current position in the company, which again he kind of refuted it by saying, I'm happy where I am. But I mean, despite what I think about Kenny, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I think you're a lot more of a fan of Kenny than I am. I can still acknowledge that Kenny is seen as a main eventer. He's seen as a top guy, and at this point, it's just like he's just in the middle of the card. And he just seems like he's just another wrestler. But it's just like, how much stock do you put into these WWE rumors about Kenny showing up?
On this day, February 22nd, 2023, not a whole bunch. Just because of the fact that, okay. If Kenny leaves, the Young Bucks are going to be there. They're going to be right behind him. Then there's a way the Young Bucks are going to stay in AEW and not go to WWE. I'll tell you what WWE wants to do. WWE wants to kill AEW. Mm-hmm. They want to kill AEW, right? And getting Kenny Omega is going to kill AEW. Period. Like, you still got Adam Cole there and possibly CM Punk and all that, but they are the heart of that company. Them. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and Heyman and Adam Page as well. They are the heart of the company because they're the ones that started the company, right? How much stock I take into this? As right now, not a lot. WWE wants to get Kenny Omega to come to WWE, just like how they tried for him, 4 or 5 years ago. As of right now, if he comes over to WWE and WWE ends up, I'll say this here. There's one name out there that WWE wants, two names actually, Kenny Omega and Jay White, right? Right. A third name that's kind of been flowing out there is Kota Ibushi. So, Kota Ibushi, I'm not sure if you know this, Drew, but Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega, they were tag team partners.
Oh, no.
And they're best... did you know about that?
I kind of briefly heard about this story. So supposedly, Kota said he would love to come to WWE as long as he can teach the students at the Performance Center.
Right, and I mean, he's, I would like to learn from Kota Ibushi, you know what I mean, because like he's a phenomenal in-ring wrestler. He can tell a story too as well. Even though there's like some crazy like comedy antics as well, but like just as far as pure wrestling, he's one of the best in the world. So Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, they were tag team partners called the Golden Lovers. This is before Kenny Omega ever joined the Bullet Club, right?
Right.
So they are forever linked together. So think about Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi like New Japan's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That's the type of relationship that they got, right? So I can see if WWE can get Kota Ibushi, that may intrigue Kenny Omega to come to WWE, or vice versa. If Kenny Omega gets signed with WWE, Kota Ibushi may come in. Now I know what Kota Ibushi wants to do. He's like Kota Ibushi. He's a freelancer. He's never really been signed with a company like long term, or even like ever. I don't think like officially signed to a company. He's been like a freelancer like forever. Even in New Japan when he was a champion, I don't think he signed like a full term deal or anything like that. So I could definitely see Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi coming in. And if they come in as the Golden Lovers, they can't be the Golden Lovers. I will probably name like the Golden Wings or something like that to take off of Kota Ibushi's nickname and the One Wing Angel. I think the Golden Wings will probably be a good tag team name to put in WWE. They can, Kenny Omega, he wants to do well. He wants to be the best in certain things. So because we're with Kota Ibushi, right, and they form their tag team, right, obviously, there's going to be a split later on because both of them could be phenomenal single stars. Kota Ibushi, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, right, you know what I mean, Kenny Omega, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and AEW Champion. But if they come in as a tag team, just there's a lot of good stuff there. You got them versus the Club, them versus the Usos, them versus the Street Profits. Them versus possibly at the time maybe the Creeds come up already, right? So them versus the New Day. There is them versus possibly versus FTR. FTR may be coming back as well. So I can see them coming as a tag team. Then maybe 6 months to a year down the line, break them up and make them individually. And Kenny Omega, I mentioned this on Saturday. He has about 10 years. If he takes care of his body, he could have 10 years left. 10 years left in him. Edge is almost 50 years old and he's wrestling. Yeah, granted, he was off. He wasn't wrestling for about 10 years too. But Omega's gonna need to change his style a little bit there. He can still do the V triggers. He can probably still do some dives. But and actually, if you watch his New Japan stuff, Kenny Omega has calmed down a lot.
Right.
He's calmed down a lot from his New Japan stuff. He's calmed down a lot from his New Japan stuff because he just be doing spots like, "What the fuck are you doing to your body?" type of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I mean this should be something that we should be intrigued by. But as of right now, I'm not fully convinced yet that he would be coming to WWE. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, again, it's just it's kind of like with AJ. I don't really put a lot of stock into guys coming in until I actually see it. And with Kenny, how you bring him in is just it's one of those things of just like, again, he's a big name and people like him. They think he's a big name. Treat him like a big name. Like if you're gonna bring him in, tease him, like have do these like cryptic vignettes of somebody coming to WWE, a big star, and then you find out it's Kenny Omega.
I think he's one you could get away with without that. I think the vignettes are probably used for people who are not known as much. I would do that for Jay White. Because, like, we know who Jay White is, right? But, like, you know, the general audience doesn't know who Jay White is. I think a lot of people know who Kenny Omega is, even, like, some, like, the little casuals, too, as well. Because people, they check out AEW. They may love it, they may not like it, but they see Kenny Omega, like, oh, I see this guy before, oh, he's pretty good, or I don't like him, or whatever the case may be, but, because it worked for AJ. All you need, you know, we didn't know AJ's music, all we needed to see was his name and him coming out to the ring. And that got a huge pop. So, I don't know. Maybe they can do the same for Omega. I don't know, but we'll just have to see on how WWE does it if they end up signing him or if he does want to come in.
I remember that. That was awesome. Just you just see Roman's face and you hear like I guess like a DMX cover artist. And you're like, who the fuck is this? And then you just see the graphic, I am phenomenal. And it's AJ. You're like, oh, holy fucking shit. Like, that was such a fucking good debut. Yeah, I guess maybe for Kenny, that works because we all know who Kenny is. With Jay White, it's like, that's more of a niche thing that he needs build up. You know, someone like him needs build up. Maybe a Coda needs build up, even though he did the Cruiserweight Classic a while ago. He still needs build-up, and you can use the Cruiserweight Classic.
And all you really need to do is just show him, have other wrestlers that wrestled him in the Cruiserweight Classic. Just do like interviews, like Cedric Alexander, obviously, and that fucking one of my favorite matches in the past 10 years, that Kota Ibushi Cedric Alexander match. But
that.
I mean, I get you.
So like for Kenny. You remember when again, don't think ahead of me, but like, do you remember when The Rock came back in 2011?
Yep.
And he had that kind of like weird entrance where they tried to throw you off by making it seem like it was going to be someone else, but then like the whole building just like starts doing that pulsating, those like pulsating graphics and sound effects, and it's just like, who the hell is this? And all of a sudden, that's when you hear, if you smell it, which I remember watching it in my den, and as soon as I hear "if you smell," I'm just like, "Holy shit!" It's The Rock, and like, could something like that work for Kenny?
Yeah, if it's done right, they like honestly, you know how they brought in Cody, right? With this theme song.
Right.
And everyone popped because everyone knows that theme song, right? I'll keep Kenny's theme from AEW too as well and bring that in. So
you would do that with Kenny, like with Cody, where you know it's like, you know, we have an
not
opponent.
Exactly the same, but
right.
you know, in that style where you know you hear, and it's the full song too. You know, the Passport Machine, and just pumps up, and it's like, "Are you ready for this?" And I think the crowd will pop for that.
You know, what'd be interesting is if like you get to the end of the show and it's like Michael Cole, not Michael Cole. I guess, you know, if he appears on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, like one of the announcers is like, you know, we'd like to thank the WWE fans for showing up and we appreciate you, and we're already towards the end of the night, and then all of a sudden, you know, that's when the arena starts pulsating. And like the lights go out, you're not sure what's happening, and then all of a sudden you just hear the music. You hear Kenny's music plays, and you see the graphic of Kenny Omega, and that's I don't know. I again, I'm not even a Kenny Omega fan, but it's just like how you book this guy, and he's supposed to be the biggest wrestler in the past decade, or one of the biggest wrestlers in the past decade. But it's just like how you book him needs to be special. And you can't just be another wrestler. One thing
that they can do is that they can, you know, have the arena go dark, all that stuff, right? Then on the Titantron, it's like a blue, it's like blue, like a, you know, blue fog or whatever, or purple fog. And all you see is Kenny Omega's silhouette, curly hair. Then all you see is like a one wing that just pops out off one side of his body, right? That would be a great tease, and then into his music. I think that will pop me for sure, and that'll pop other fans, because obviously One Wing Angel, right? You know what I mean? That's his name, his finishing move. Obviously One Wing Angel, which is his tribute to Final Fantasy Sephiroth, right? You know what I mean? So, that will pop me. That will pop me for sure because, and I'll also play back to his one of his Wrestle Kingdom interests because I think he had a Wrestle Kingdom interest where he had the One Ring as well. You know what I mean? So that it'll play off a lot of things as well with that. But what did I know? I'm just a fan.
We're just fans, Justin. We're all fans. But we just happen to book these shows a lot better than the actual writers. What else? I mean, there's really not a lot of news going on. Just, I guess, kind of the same old Triple H. Apparently, the reports about him being disappointed in the recent hirings or rehirings have been labeled as false.
Already.
Yeah, Fightful Select's source stated, there again, another source, thing they would accept Lou Levesque to say out loud, even if he did believe it. A member of the creative team revealed to Fightful that nobody that WWE brought back was expected to immediately ascend to the top. And yada, yada, yada. So we already talked about that. Triple H, on the WWE sale, he says he stays out of it. As long as we get to do this, as long as we get to create the way we get to create it, as long as we get to go out there and put our passion on display, as long as our as long as our talent is allowed to put their passion on display and do what we do, I'm good. It is what it is. Vince McMahon is apparently seeking $9 billion for WWE, and the company has already received offers. A few weeks ago, Nick Khan told CNBC that the sale of WWE could happen as quickly as 3 months. Earlier this year, the Saudi Arabian thing didn't turn out to be true. That's really about it.
Going back to NXT from last night, did you see the what Grayson Waller said? He's gonna want to have Shawn Michaels confront him.
I don't know if I want Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement again to wrestle Grayson Waller.
I didn't mention that. I just said he wants to confront him.
Well, I mean, I know they're having a feud that, Grayson is pissed off at him. And, of course, you have the people, again, not saying you said this, but, you have the people, doing the whole, Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement. It's like, no, he's not. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Shawn is going to do the whole, I can't wrestle anymore, but I know someone who can. And he's going to find his own guy to go after Grayson. And, I mean, this isn't my favorite. I mean, you guys already know, but it's just, this is how you can kind of continue and close the chapter on this feud. Bring in Gargano to get revenge on Waller.
I mean, yeah, he could do Gargano. I'll be fine with that.
I mean, at least it's a story.
Yeah. I mean, it's still part of the story there for that. That or Dragon Lee. I know maybe there'd be a Dragon Lee debut, but one or the other. One or the other, for sure.
You could definitely do that. And so you watched NXT, right?
Yeah.
So I get not overall how was the show, mainly just let's just jump to the main event. So how was the main event? Braun versus Jinder.
It wasn't special. It was predictable. But. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it was predictable. I mean, no one thought that. Braun was gonna lose. You know what I mean? So could have done without it.
It says Grayson Waller takes over the Tron from the production truck and says, "Heartbreak Man." Shawn Michaels might have banned him from the show, but he took a page out of DX's playbook. He's Mr. Stand Deliver, and he promises a very special edition of the Grayson Waller Effect in 2 weeks with HBK as his guest. That's the show, folks. So, I mean, it can be Gargano, it can be Dragon Lee. I mean, that'd be a nice way to debut Dragon Lee. Because I don't know what Gargano's doing right now. Supposedly he's hurt again. Is he really hurt? Or is it just for show?
You see that bump he took off the cell? Off the pod?
Vaguely, because I know on the very next night on Raw, like, they asked Candice, like, what's the condition of your husband?
Well,
And-
I mean, when he did the Hurricane, his fucking face, like, you know, on
okay.
the like he busted his face up.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it's just like, even with padding, that's still gonna fucking hurt. Jesus. Again, I want the guy to be okay. I know I'm not a fan of the guy, but I obviously don't want anything bad to happen to him. So, full recovery for Johnny. What else can we talk about? I mean, we've kind of.
Well, I mean, this may not, may not where you may not actually would care, but Keiji Muto, Great Muto wrestled his last match yesterday. And he went up against Tetsuya Naito. He lost to Tetsuya Naito, and when he was doing his retirement speech, he challenged Masahiro Chono to a match, and Chono beat Keiji Muto in both of their retirement matches. So if you don't know, there's the Four Musketeers that was in Four Musketeers, the Three Musketeers in New Japan. So there was Keiji Muto, who was the Great Muta, Masahiro Chono, and also, oh my god, I forget the guy's last name. I know what he looks like. I think it's Shia Hashimoto. And they were known as the Three Musketeers because they all came at the same time in New Japan in the mid '80s, and they were basically like the top three guys. So it's kind of like Cena, Orton, and Batista. Kind of think about it like that, but like in the '80s in New Japan. And yeah, so basically, they had each other's last matches last night, and Chono beat Muta. And so Muto's finally officially retired, which is crazy because he's been wrestling for almost 40 years. So,
Yeah, good career, great career for him. Big match announced to determine Gunther's WWE WrestleMania opponent on March 12th at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, March 12th at Madison Square Garden. There will be a 20-man battle royal held, and the winner of that will challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. The names listed are Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, The New Day, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, The Miz, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Johnny Gargano, Omos. I guess kind of tells you something. Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed, Rick Boogs, Santos Escobar, Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Baron Corbin, and Karrion Kross.
all right. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that.
So if you had to pick who's Gunther's Mania opponent, who would you pick?
This is for his Mania opponent,
Correct.
and this is happening when?
March 12th at Madison Square Garden.
Go through the names again.
Shit. Let me pull that back up real quick. Oh, here we go. So 20-man battle royal, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, The New Day, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, The Miz, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Johnny Gargano, Omos, Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed,
I'm just gonna go with Sheamus. This sounds like a terrible field. I'm just gonna go with Sheamus.
Rick Boogs, Santos, Braun, Ricochet, Barrett, and Cross. So I guess kind of like here's like an idea. So we already had Sheamus and Gunther. So what do you think could happen if let's say Drew and Sheamus eliminate each other at the same time?
I'm fine with that. I mean, like I mentioned a triple threat from before too, but because
we haven't had Drew.
It's kind of weird that they're who's the source for this? Who gave us this information?
The actual Madison Square Garden Twitter.
What the fuck?
Let's see. MSG at the Garden on Twitter. Breaking 20-man battle royal with the winner to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WWE. Road to #WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden on March the 12th. I mean, things could change. They might replace some people.
No, this is not going to be at WrestleMania. It's going to be at Road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sunday, March 12th at Madison Square Garden.
Oh! I mean, I don't care about this thing because it's not even going to be televised. I mean, I was going to go with either Drew McIntyre or Sheamus or, I mean, if I'm not seeing it on TV, I'm not invested in it. It would be good for the fans that are going to be there, though. They should have fun with that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world. All right. I believe that's the show. That's the whole show. We have talked about everything.
The whole show, all the show, and nothing but the show.
That should be the title of tonight's episode. The whole show. Was it the whole show? What the fuck did you just say?
Well, wait. Will you tell the truth, all the truth, and nothing but the truth? Yeah. The show, all the show, and nothing but the show.
The show, all the show, nothing but the show. That is the title of tonight's episode. Thanks to Mr. Justin here. Justin, again, thank you for tonight. Another great night, fellas, ladies, and gentlemen in the chat room. If there are any ladies, hopefully there's some ladies. I don't know if ladies listen to the show. Maurice said that was short. Yeah, it was a pretty short night. It was a pretty flaccid night today, guys. I'm playing. Flaccid, no semen. But Kyle said it was. Yeah, it was kind of a slow news week. Because we did the elimination. Yeah, we did the Elimination Chamber on Saturday, so
that was like a 40. How long we did that? It was like a 45 minutes to an hour.
It was like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, yeah. So that time that would have been for that, we did that on Saturday. So really, it was just like talk about Raw, talk about some of the news stories. What I'll try to do throughout the week is I'll try to get a little bit more news stories for us to talk about. So that way, and fresh news stories as well, so that way we're not talking about something from 5-6 days ago. Unless it's like a big news story, but if it's fresh in the news, I'll jot it down, and so that way we can come with a little bit more news stories for the most part. But again, this was a slow news story week, regardless, though, no matter what. So
yeah, exactly. And then Saturday, we're doing the second Q&A show.
That's right.
That's on the events tab. If you guys are ever in doubt, just check the events tab, or feel free to message one of us if you have any questions on a future show. Future. So get in as many questions as you can, and of course, nothing is off limits. But Justin, go ahead and plug your stuff.
Yeah, of course. Follow me on Instagram. SpinebusterTees on Instagram. And also SpinebusterTees.com. Gonna be creating a new t-shirt coming out soon. I'm kind of in the rough draft stages of it. It's gonna be a simple design, nothing crazy or anything like that. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. Also, as well, if you like, you can follow me on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Spinebuster Tees. This live stream that I'm on right now, I'm not going to have it up on public. All the live streams here is really just to grow this audience a little bit more. So all these streams will be going immediately to private afterwards. But eventually I will be uploading videos. Once store opens up, I'll probably be putting a little short videos up of updates in the store, things of that nature, as other stores do when they get figures come in or they do store tours, things of that nature. So, I'll probably put a link down below in the Discord chat sometime tonight for you guys to subscribe to that if you choose to. So
Awesome. Yeah, look out for that, guys. And yeah, for me, social media, Twitter, I'm on mostly, and there's a Facebook page for the show that I don't really post too much on, which I probably should start doing. And I have Instagram, which that's kind of a personal, I guess my personal Instagram, which I only add certain people on, but feel free to add me if you're a friend of the show, a fan of the show, a friend of the show, a friend of mine. Feel free to send me a request, and I'll think about accepting your request. I'll think about it.
Think about it.
I gotta be honest, guys. I'll think about it. And yeah, the show you can find anywhere. It's on Spreaker. It's on Google Podcasts. It's on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube. And I have a YouTube channel. I don't really. I mean, I used to post, game streams on it. I used to post reaction videos. I don't really do it as much anymore because YouTube is, I don't know, YouTube's kind of weird. YouTube has very strict bylaws on what you can and can't post and say. You can't even again, I know it didn't sound like that big of a deal. It's kind of weird, but it's just for some reason YouTube has a problem with you saying the word kill. If you're
yeah. I mean, it's you got to kind of play fair on YouTube a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it was hard as hell for me to get to 6,000 subscribers on my gaming channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like my gaming channel has 6,000 subs, so I know how to grow a channel. I know how to do all that shit. It's just a lot of effort, a lot of effort into that. But yeah, there's certain things you can't say, certain things you can't post, certain things. But I know how to play the game. I've been doing YouTube content for over 13 years now at this point. So
right, instead of saying killing or committing suicide, you have to say unaliving. So instead of saying he killed himself, he unalived himself. Or instead of saying I'm going to kill you, it's I'm going to unalive you. I'm not even kidding. That's how strict YouTube is. You can't talk about drugs. You can't talk about smoking pot. You have to say I had a special cake, or I had a special.
Well, I mean, you could talk about it, but you won't get monetized for certain things. But there's people on there who are monetized for growing weed farms and things of that nature. It's you just gotta know how to play the game. And luckily, I kind of have that luxury. I know how to do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, Maurice is saying the same thing. A lot of channels, find a way to manipulate the system.
Yep.
You just got to be really goddamn good. It's the same thing with
That's all.
Yeah, it's a lot of channels will get demonetized or have their videos blocked from the most random channels or the most random companies.
So the funny thing is with YouTube, in the first 5 minutes, try not to say a cuss word. Because, that'll get you thrown off the algorithm. After 5 minutes, you should be, good to go for a while at least. To say, not anything per se, but, to do general cuss words for the most part. But that's something that I learned over the years, though, because, I have, I'll tell you this, there's a lot of things I have. I have, a crazy editing software and a crazy photo software to make thumbnails and all that stuff. So I have a nice rigged PC as well to stream in 4K on my for my gaming channel. You go if you go my gaming channel JD Venom, and you go look at one of my last few live streams or videos there, look at the quality type of videos they are. It's some good quality shit that I had.
Yeah, I remember your videos. I don't know if I was on the same channel, but I think you were reviewing bad wrestling theme songs. Was that the same channel or was that a different channel?
It's a different channel.
Which one was that? Was that the ankle breaker or what was it called?
That was when I first got into YouTube. Shit, man. So I first uploaded videos on YouTube in 2010. So that would have been 13 years ago. I was talking about this. Hold on, I'll just put it down below real quick. talking about that channel there. That channel there is where I have like 6,000 subs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like my flagship channel. I haven't uploaded shit on there for a while, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was a good show tonight. Very good show.
Yeah, good show. Again, thank you to everybody that showed up. Thank you to everyone that listens. And anyone who's on Justin's stream on YouTube, again, thank you. Welcome to the show, and we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you here, and hopefully we'll see you on this chat room as well. But again, you guys know where to find us, and of course you got the Patreon, which is only $5 a month. You get this show the day before the regular show comes out, and you get it unedited, uncut, the way the good Lord intended. And you also get other shows I do with Mr. Jeff Littman. I do a show with Ruben Prime and RJ. We do our own shows, which are kind of like they're separate or their own thing. They don't really have anything to do with wrestling in particular, unless there's like a big topic that we kind of have to talk about. But for the most part, they're kind of they're kind of like their own thing. The show I do with Ruben, for example, is called Culture Attack, and it's kind of similar to this show that he does on his own, the Ruben Prime, podcast, where we'll talk about pop culture, we'll talk about stuff that's happening in the news. I do it, with RJ, we just talk about the nerdy shit we like superhero movies, comic books, stuff like that, and every now and then wrestling. And then me and Jeff, we renamed our show. It's called Garden of Droom, which is a take on his show Garden of Doom, but with me in it. And it's lately the kind of the plot of the show is me giving him a homework assignment, because we only do that show monthly, because Jeff is a busy boy. Jeff has a lot of podcasts. He wears a lot of hats. Like he'll do his own show, and then he'll do somebody else's show, and then he'll do another show, and another show, and another show, and then it's just like this guy doesn't sleep. He's a maniac. He's a maniac in the best way. So like I'll give him a homework assignment, I'll give him a deadline, and I'll say, hey, let's by the time you're done, let's just film the next day, or record the next day. I mean, so those are always fun shows. And Jeff, better man than me, does a great job with this research. And now I need to think of another homework assignment for him. So, Jeff, if you're listening, I will think of your homework assignment as soon as possible. Just be patient. And just shout out to everybody who listens to the show: Wrestling Soup, Breaking the Apocalypse, Kevin Castle, Trez, RJ, of course, Monty, which I believe we're doing our show this Sunday. We had to not do a show on Sunday because Monty is working. But I think we'll be doing a show this Sunday. So look out for that show we do called the Trifecta Threat. We just review the week of wrestling, and I'm not the host for that one. That's Monty's show. And Julian, Wrestling Court, Rob, WrestleBread podcast, Clark Street Wrestling podcast. That's every Friday after SmackDown on YouTube. So look out for that. Those guys are great. They're funny as hell. Love them. And Andrew Carlick. Let's see, who else? If I'm forgetting names, I'm sorry. I'm actually very tired, and I kind of have a headache. I've been going through this headache throughout the whole show. It's not too bad. I just need to maybe take something and take a shower probably. But shout out to everybody who listens to the show and who's a fan and a friend. And we will see you this Saturday. Same time, same channel, for the Q&A show. And that's pretty much it, guys. You'll have this show up when it usually goes up, every Friday morning. But yeah, Dirk, we gotta leave. I'm sorry. I know he raised his hand to chime in. We're actually signing out right now. But anyways, guys, take care. Have a good week, and we'll see you this Saturday. Peace.
He had a question?
I think he was trying to get in, to come on, but it's just like we're literally about to end it. But maybe next time. But anyways, guys, peace out.
See ya.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew
The
Yari.
Drew Yari Show.